Beep beep, losers, get in.
Get in, loser, for the joyride.
Hello, losers, and welcome to Eurovision Losers with your hosts, moi, Curtis.
And David Patrick Pizarkowitz. And we are so happy to see you again for episode 4 of Eurovision Losers. Wow. Today we have a lineup of 6 songs for you, 6 exciting, amazing songs for this year's contest. Curtis, why don't you start us off? What song will we be introducing first?
Our first song is ah.
Ah, ah, ah. Belgium. Joe Blights.
It's where I wanna
So let's start our review.
Okay, so Belgium strobe lights. So a couple things to note about the song was it's actually written by a former Belgium national final connection because the Belgium producers switched back and forth between the French and the Flemish. It's written by co-written at least by a former contestant named Amina with the song Carnival. It was one of my favorite songs from the national final. I wanted that to win. I truly like this song. I really do. It's it's for me personally, it is somewhere between Kyle and Cypress. It's in that middle area because it's like
Hmm.
dark pop boy, makes you kind of want to dance track. Um, and frankly, it's kind of like this is the elevated version, and it's like Cypress's song is from Timu. No, it's done really well. I mean, of course, it's number 8-ish in the odds for a reason. People keep saying this song is not going to qualify. It's good. I really enjoy the song. He sings it well live every time. I'm curious to see what they do for staging. We don't have a stager yet announced for Belgium this year, but as long as it's not the same stager they did last year for Musti, we're good.
Like as long as they go with something with their national selection, like that staging was great. Like
Yeah, when he kind of got lifted up and maybe have like his dancers kind of like,
it's a dance
and the
track. Like it's
thing.
not that hard to.
But the song is pretty high, and he maintains that like high notes quite well. What do you think of the song?
All I remember is the high note, the long, sustained high note, and then the chorus of the strobe lights. Da-da-da-da.
Lost in your eyes, cotton candy. There's honestly not a whole lot to the song, I will say.
It's one of the songs for me. I'm getting a little bit back in my day with Eurovision, I used to like listen to every song over and over. I made like a recap of my favorite songs. Um, I'm an old man now, so I sometimes I still haven't listened to all the songs if I'm not interested. And this is the one of the songs that I'm not that interested, that I've listened to bits and pieces, but I'm just not invested enough to listen fully until I'm forced at the live shows. But look, it'll be a surprise. It'll be a surprise for me.
It was a it will be a surprise for you. It will be a surprise for you. I will say, as far as Belgium goes, they have a very positive record, and they're kind of a very interesting country. They always send these very artsy kind of
Very
numbers.
outward.
Like, I do think their prime has kind of passed, though. I would say their prime was really 2015 to 2018 with like Loic Notte.
tomorrow on the beautiful wind that blows on a cosmic track. Love attack. I'm gonna get that rhythm back.
And also Blanche.
All alone in the flame of doubt. Are we going to lose it all?
Those songs were like Belgium was in its prime. And since like 2020, one, honestly, for me. I did not care for You're in the Wrong Place. You're next to.
I see a smiley face that makes me wanna cry. The words I'm thinking 'cause
Is
all
that the black and white one?
Yeah, that's a black and white, and the
It,
singers just seemed kind of over it.
it kind of grew on me in the end. I kind of was like, hmm.
I didn't like it. And ever since then, it was that. And then they went with
Sonic.
Gustav was good. Gustav in 2023 was a really good song.
Yeah, man, the world got me going crazy. See, I carry on because of
It was very capital G-A-Y.
Gay. It was gay, 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 gay.
Yeah, it
But
gave
like,
me it very much like Boy George vibes.
yes, which is what he was going for. He loved his hats.
Yeah.
It was a different type of gay than what Ollie Alexander was serving. Gustav was very much like gay culture,
Mm.
where Ollie Alexander was gay when the lights goes out.
Okay, when your grinder goes off.
Get some. What was that? Oh, you get. I don't know what this is. Well, you get all the information you need if you just take a look. They keep popping up here. What is this?
Yeah.
which, speaking of that, Red Sebastian, I do think is a really good artist. I
Mhm.
do like the song because he does get really high, which as a singer, I thought you would appreciate how high he gets and how he can like sustain that.
I do love high sustained vocals. I myself sung that recently in my cover of Cicel. Please check that out.
I
Um,
did see that.
so with Red Sebastian, I really like him as a person. He seems really just like real and legit,
Mhm.
friendly, talented, and a good song. And so it's a great package, but it's not a winner. Like it's nothing like too crazy revolutionary for me, but it is unique in its own way, I feel, for it to stand out.
Yes, definitely. I do think this will definitely stand out in the crowd. I mean, it was number one in the odds. It was for a different singer, it was number one in the odds, but it was still number one in the odds for a while. And Belgium does deliver quality every time. And so, with that said, do you see the song qualifying? It's in semi one with all the men.
Probably off the top of my head. We'll have to do, I think, a separate video to sort out our qualifiers.
Mm,
But off the top of my head, I think it's for me it's borderline.
mm,
It's not one of those songs where I'm like, ah, yes. It's like possibly. I thought Belgium last
mm.
year was also a possibly qualifier. Actually, I think I had it as my qualifier.
Before the party is over, before the party is over.
Okay. I
It's borderline.
also has my qualifier, but the staging did do anything for it. Overall, where do you have this listed in your ranking? For me, I have this as number 22.
Unfortunately for me, it's not as high as his notes. Uh, I have it as 27. So
Mm,
we both have it in that kind of lowery range.
yeah,
In
right now it's
the
kind of it
border.
could qualify it it could qualify easily, and the same people who like this are the same people who like Germany this year.
Hmm, not for me.
Okay, the same people who like this are the same people who would like Cyprus.
Yes, I would agree with that.
Yeah, it's dark poppy, it's boy. He's very mod fashiony. He's giving almost male Twiggy vibes, which just like, and he loves the color red. It's even in his name.
Yes, and his hair as well. But if you disagree and you don't think that Cyprus and Belgium give the same vibe, let us know.
Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Ding! Let's move on to the land far, far west. Far west. Furthest west.
A place that I've been a few years ago.
Oh, that's right, you have been there.
I
A place
have.
that I want to go. Sadly, very sadly.
If they win again, you can go.
If they win again, I would love to go. Also, would just love to go there for a beach vacation. You might put the pieces together. We are talking about Portugal.
Por mais que possa parecer, eu nunca vou pertencer àquela cidade. Mar de gente, sol diferente, mundo.
So, Portugal this year is being represented by the group Napa and the song excuse my pronunciation, Deslocado. It's a song.
Yeah.
Um,
Correct.
Fun fact about the band, their name actually used to be Three Guys on a Couch, and then they changed to Deslocado. I think they should have kept it with Three Guys on a Couch. I really do. I really think they should have kept it like that.
The song name or the group name?
The group name. The group name was originally Three Guys on a Couch when they started out like years ago.
So, but aren't they Napa now?
Yeah, they are Napa now.
Okay. Just wanted to connect the dots. I think I don't. I think Three Guys on a Couch is cute, but it kind of gives me the Maltese group a few years ago.
Oh yeah, the Busker. And their song was about having your own party.
Feel better in my sweater. On the radio, this is the song you know, but hey.
Here's what will I say about the song. I love Portugal to death. I do watch Festival da Canção every year. I listen to the music. I follow many of the artists. I still listen to a bunch of the artists from the national final. It's not for everyone. I understand. I have always called Portugal Europe's artsy cousin. They do their own thing. They do their own thing. They show up there like, okay, the more artsy and ethereal, the better. I think of last year's song with Anina, Anina.
Transformai cada verso de mim e entrega a coragem que ainda.
Or maybe even 2022. Saudade, saudade.
Resta uma só palavra.
Or maybe even back to like 2017 when they 2016
When they
when they
won?
won.
2017.
Yeah.
Meu bem, ouve as minhas preces, peço que regresse.
And I usually stand by Portugal 10 toes down, ready to defend. Except this year. It's boring. I'm bored. I'm bored. Usually I like when Portugal, because Portugal is always song that they're going to take it down. They're going to dim the lights for you. They're going to just make you feel you might want like a cigarette and like a Manhattan in your hands just to like vibe. This song has forgotten the entertainment aspect. I understand it's artsy. Every blog, post, person with a TikTok page has talked about you just don't get it. That's fine that I don't get. There's a bunch of songs I don't get, but they're still entertaining. This one isn't entertaining. It's lost I understand it's a personal song. I get that. But this is a contest. You need to entertain the masses. And I don't see the song entertaining. I really don't. The vocals are fine. They play the instruments well. They got their national final, so they can obviously sing. But it's like, I'm not interested. I'm sorry to be a bitch right now, but I'm just not. I'm just not interested.
I love this change because you're such a Portugal stan. Like this is blowing my mind.
The reason I'm almost a little angry right now is because like I know you can do better and you had better and you still chose this song. It's like
So what was better? Because I feel like there was one song that really stood out for me in the national stage.
so I will give you the crowd favorite because my favorite's always kind of different from the crowd favorite. Josh. I call him Josh. I think it's Yosh.
De tristeza igual, mato de frente quando
Was the crowd favorite. My personal favorite is honestly Henka, I Want to Destroy You. I just like that song.
tell me when this simulation is over. I feel it coming and I've never seen you go lower. You
Just for the
Exactly.
title alone, I'm sold.
Exactly. And you had Jessica Pina. You also
ser rainha deste chão, posso ser coroa de latão, posso ser personagem de ficção.
Amy Cool.
Força de voltar, vive em cada ser. Eu não tenho medo, farta a minha tribo, bela nova terra onde viver sempre acá. O dia da cotovia, de noite mocho assovia.
And they did this all better. And I'm just like, you went with this song. I'm like, obviously the message made the judges feel something, or the audience, not judges, feel something, but that's not going to translate to an international crowd when the biggest speaker of your language isn't even in the continent, it's in Brazil.
We have rest of the world voting. We have rest of the world.
The rest of the world, my ass, they're not going to vote for this. Do you think really Brazil listens to they have their own contest coming up?
Or they'd vote for Spain. Let's be real.
Let's be real. They're going to vote for Melody,
Yeah.
which we'll talk about later. Anyway, I've bitched on them long enough. Karen, what do you think of Portugal?
Well, I'm glad we put more airtime for you talking about it because for me, it's left nothing. What do you call it?
A nothing burger for you.
Yeah.
It's all bread. It's all
I
bread.
just had to listen to it before because, like, it's nowhere on my radar. Nowhere on my radar. Like, as we all know, I tend to side with jury kind of songs, like well written, well produced,
The
great.
juries won't. The juries will forget this.
Yeah, I've forgotten it.
The juries are going to forget this. I'm sorry, Napa. I'm sure you guys are lovely. Your name was Five Guys on the Couch, which I appreciate that as a fellow couch head. Love a couch. I'm
I
sorry. It's
let's talk about positives. I do like their nod to retro music. We have a really big retro music year this year with all the boy bands liking to hark back to the soft rock of the 60s. Potentially some 70s vibes as well, giving me some David Bowie vibes, giving me some Beatles vibes. Like we have a lot of that this year, so it's great to see that it's still being.
it's great to see it, but that just means they're lost in the sauce.
Do they have originality?
And any other year, because like 2021 Black Mamba,
Love is on my side.
also Portugal, did this style better, but still this style. They were the only thing like it because that was a very like poppy year, and so they stood out amongst the crowd.
And he stood out,
But
like him as a personality.
yeah, love is on my side.
But he like
No,
really connected with the camera. So look,
exactly. They had that black and white kind of filter over everything. My mom loved that song. And but the problem is it doesn't stand out this year because there's a song later that we'll talk about in this video that does this style and does it better and is still not really highly ranked. So we'll talk about Italy later. But do you see the song qualifying?
is this a question? Of course not.
I don't, because Italy's in their same semifinal, does this better, and people are going to look at that. And I'm sure the artsy crowd will turn up to this, but I'm looking at who's in their semifinal, and they're in the weaker one. They're in the one with all the
Men's.
men, and there's other artsy songs that they would rather turn out for. If they're going really artsy, they're going to turn out for Albania over this song. So I'm sorry to be blunt, but I'm just, I know Portugal, you can do better. Also, they're not even going to have good staging because Portugal doesn't usually send their artists into Eurovision with much of a budget. Um,
Susie from wait, did she have a great staging? I don't know. She brought it. Susie brought it.
who? Who's
Susie.
Susie?
Eu quero ser tua, oh, oh, oh. Eu quero ser tua, oh, oh, oh. Eu quero ser tua como o sol do seu brilhar. Eu quero ser tua como o rio é do seu mar.
The icon that comes back to Eurovision every year. If you go to Euroclub, you will see her.
I'm sure. I'm sure I will. Okay, so let's have the hard-hitting question. Where do you have this ranked? How close to the bottom?
Yes, it's bottom, 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 bottom. It is not last place.
It's not
Oh,
last place for
looking
me
at,
either.
looking at it now. Um, hmm. I don't like where my last place currently is. I think this should be my last place. I currently have Tutti Italia, San Marino
Oh,
last,
yeah, too.
but I can remember it
Okay.
and I like kind of enjoy it. So I'm kind of like revising my thoughts, and I think
I
Portugal is
so
last place. I think.
I will I'll say this. It's not last.
Okay,
It's
that's the win.
36.
There you go. Well, mine was originally 36, but it's the
The Miriam song is worse.
ah,
That's
she's a little higher for me. I appreciate the vocals and the song somewhat. It's
yes, I appreciate. No, actually, there's nothing I appreciate about Miriam's. Anyway, we've already bitched about Georgia. Okay,
round two.
let's round two. Let's bitch about Georgia. Also, why is everyone in Georgia named Miriam?
Yeah, Maria.
I met a Georgian woman this weekend. Her name was also Miriam. The song you ever remind us from Junior Eurovision. Her name, Miriam. Okay, let's move on. Let's move on to the smallest country this year. Well, the one that's actually a country, but also the richest.
But also one of the longest in Eurovision. Yeah.
Like that. Yes, one of the longest if you look this way and only at a name.
Yes.
I call it X. Luxembourg.
La poupée monte le son. Na 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 na. Retiens bien la leçon. Na 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 na. La poupée monte le son.
I don't call it X. Luxembourg this year will be sending their song La Poupée Monte le Son by Laura Thron. So, Curtis, why don't you start off? What do you think of Miss Luxembourg this year? Miss Laura. What do you think of her?
So there's a reason why I talked about the length that Luxembourg has been in the contest, because
Mm.
Luxembourg's history has a really big tie-in to this year's song, in that this year's song is a tribute and a hark back to their first winning song from France Gall.
Mais un jour je vivrai mes chansons, poupée de cire, poupée de son. Sans craindre la chaleur des garçons, poupée de cire.
Oh.
You didn't know?
No, I didn't know. I did not know that.
Have you watched the national final? Because obviously no.
I
Because
Elsie Bay wasn't in it, so I was not interested.
so the beginning of their song in the national final starts with France Gall's Poupée de cire, Poupée de son, and then it goes and fades away into Laura's song. And there's a lot of instrumentation, the trumpets and such, and the general beat has a lot of tie-in with Poupée de cire, Poupée de son. So for me, one of my most favorite winners and songs in Eurovision history is France Gall's song.
Mhm.
I love, love, love it. And it even made big hits and great popularity in Japan, where I currently am in.
Really? Oh
Yeah.
yeah, you told me about this. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a Japanese version of Poppy DC Poppy de Son, and she's performed in Tokyo back in the 60s.
私は夢見るシャンソン ン溢れる人形私は綺麗なシャンソリオこの世はバラ色のボンボンみたいね
Oh, okay. Not Laura. The previous
Not Laura,
Eurovision.
no, not Laura. Maybe,
No,
maybe
we would love if Laura came to Japan and
yes,
did that.
please come to Japan and Korea. We'll come and watch it.
Lorene is already coming to Korea, so give Japan something.
Yes, yes, please. So from the get-go, I already had that kind of like hopefulness and nostalgia for this song. And I really liked what she brought to the national final as well. I really liked that playing the doll. It was really well choreographed. Some things that she needs to work on is her vocals. She had some issues with sustaining her vocals with her high note, but I'm going to put it down to nerves, I guess, because she seems
Mhm.
like a kind of newer kind of performer compared to other singers, I guess, because she's young.
I mean, if we look at last year, Tali also had like struggle with like the Luxembourg kind of when the song was on the stage.
Maybe they've
And
given a lot of like rehearsal time, maybe.
yeah, because from what I've heard, Luxembourg's kind of like, because the song isn't written by them, they're given the song. So I'm guessing, hopefully, by the time we get to the contest, her familiarity with everything will be much nicer and quicker and
Well, she
sharper.
is going to all the pre-parties, so she's getting a lot
She
of
is.
in. And I've been listening to all of her performances and like the Spanish pre-party. She sounded the best so far. Like she's got those vocals down. So
Mhm. Yeah, I think it's just familiarity with the song. She needed more time to like just get used to it. Also, like being around like the other Eurovision artists must help because it is other people in the same situation where you're representing your country, whether you're from there or not.
is Laura from Luxembourg?
Oh no, she is, but I'm like sometimes like Ireland, the girl's from Norway, but she's
Or
representing Ireland. I was just
Albania? Aren't there about Albanians from Italy?
they're originally from Italy, but from like an Albanian community in Italy. Apparently, there's a lot of crossover.
Yes, well,
Elizaveta knows that very well. Um,
but let's. I want to know what your thoughts are because I like,
okay,
but
it's cute. It's cute. It's very cutesy. I like the doll thing. Um, People who have shows to have reacted well to it. However, every year, the Eurovision artists will do a couple covers of their song, like maybe an acoustic version or an a cappella version. Kyle Sunder recently did something with an orchestra.
I won't fall again. I'll be my own lighter. Nothing can burn me now.
Mariana did Serving with a choir.
enemies feel around me, clean energy in my power.
There's Laura recently posted a version, the dark version of the song.
Je donne de la voix, alors surtout joue pas au ventriloque. La poupée monte le son.
And I like that one better than this version.
Same.
The version she's
Me too. Yes.
I like that I think it's because I'm a gothy bitch. I like anything dark, dramatic. You can like a cape or like maybe it's a villain origin story. I like that one better. And when I realized it wasn't the version going, I got disappointed. The song is fine. It's cutesy. Again, the nerves getting better might change everything for me. However, actually, no, I have listened to the song play a couple times. Hopefully, there will be like a little bit of a revamp on stage. I think it just sounds a little too unfinished for me. It sounds a lot like Tali's song last year before the revamp of Fighter. And I preferred Fighter much more after the revamp. I still listen to that song. I'm not saying it's a no from me, dog, Well, I liked it, and I still listen to it. Ese Juan, ese Juan, ese ñón, shall we just say pa?
I prefer this year's song.
I preferred last year's song. I just like last year's song. If we can get that polished and sounding good, then yes, I could see it. I'm just kind of on the board. I'm just kind of on the board with everything. Surprisingly, her staging this year is being done by TRI Direction, which is a Ukrainian creative company. They have not staged a Eurovision entry. However, they have staged at Eurovision before in 2023 when Ukraine won, couldn't host, so Liverpool took it. They staged the interval act with Alosha and Rebecca Ferguson to Ordinary World,
Once prompted you to see that will tear has broke my mind.
which was really good. And obviously, you have to have some like creative chutzpah in order to be approved to do a Eurovision interval act, let alone staging here or there, depending on the country, and then they will take anyone to stage. But to stage an actual interval act, which means the EBU contacted you directly,
Yep.
which says something. Well, it says to the pockets of Luxembourg, but it also says something about. So she has a team behind her. She has a team behind her that knows what they're doing.
I'm really curious
So,
because, like, I thought I quite liked the staging of the national final. Like, I feel like that only needs some tweaks and stuff.
yeah,
Like, I
but
like
it's
the costume
Luxembourg.
feel, and I like the choreography, and the camera work was pretty good. So me personally, I feel like what they have already is already quite a great package. So I'm really interested to see what direction they will.
But you see what they did with Tali. I think we'll be seeing similarities, but I still think they're going to take in a new direction. Like with Tali last year, it had the Jaguars, and which I liked. No, I liked it. Everyone thought it was crazy. I'm like, I like this. At my Eurovision showing party, I was like, I'm gonna be real here. I like this song. No one else does, but I like it. And I still listen to it.
This year might win you over.
I hope it does. I hope it does. Again, I didn't like Tali until the revamp came out, and we still really haven't heard a revamp from Laura. And they're definitely going to do one. It's Luxembourg. If they're doing this much money in the staging, they're definitely going to have a little bit of a revamp to the song. They just haven't released one. With that being said, do you see Luxembourg qualifying? She will be in semifinal 2. Duh.
The for me, I do.
For me, I
Personally.
do as well, but she's bottom. But she's like 10 of 10. And looking back at this, there's other songs that I like. I take it back. I don't have her qualifying because there's one song that has really grown on me and one song we are going to differ highly, highly, highly about.
We'll have to see.
Yeah. With that being said, where do you rank Miss Laura, Miss Luxembourg?
Miss Luxembourg.
Miss Luxembourg. Luxembourg.
Um, so I have it in my top 20, but I don't have it in my top 10. It is 16th place for me. So obviously I see it as a qualifier.
Yeah, it's 30 for me.
Okay. We differ greatly.
I differ greatly. Again, I love nothing more than being proven wrong. I love nothing more when someone proves me wrong. Favorite thing in the world, learn something new. I'm not saying she won't. I'm just saying I don't want her to.
Do you know what
Things.
I'm getting this year?
What?
I feel like Luxembourg is going to be the Poland of last year, maybe.
Oh, where like they are like ranked highly, kind of because Poland last year with Luna was always kind of dancing around, but they're like, it's Poland, they will, and then they just didn't. They just didn't. They overwhelmed the artist from what I've heard about Luna and everything. She was a little overwhelmed by the staging. TVP, who was the broadcaster that year, kind of just threw a lot at her and expected her to juggle everything.
So this
So
is
I
what
could see
kind of
it.
like tying it to this year. You talked that they're gonna have a big, Laura's gonna have a big team behind her with lots of money. So I'm just got some worry about that in that.
hmm Money doesn't mean money doesn't mean quality. It helps, but
Mhm.
like Albania this year doesn't have probably an eighth of the budget Laura has, and look at the odds difference.
Yes.
Is there anything you want to say about Miss Laura, Miss Luxembourg?
So as I've been saying, I've been watching the pre-parties and watching the artists as they go, and I've been watching Miss Laura uh, gain her confidence in her singing and performances and vocals. However, looking overall at the general hype and social media and just watching all the artists together, I kind of feel that Luxembourg kind of fades into the background a little bit. It's
Really?
not really a standout with like when everyone put together. Like you kind of forget that she's there. You're like, oh, that's right,
Mhm.
Laura's there. Laura from Luxembourg is there.
Yeah, it's a little. She's just not saying. I hope she does. She seems like a lovely girl. She seems
Mhm.
like a lovely lass. I want her to have that moment in the sun, and I'm just afraid of what will happen. With that being said, let's move on to our next entry. I'm hungry. What should I get?
A pizza?
Pizza, Italy! Yeah,
Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun.
bella ciao, bella ciao. We are talking about how stupid. We are talking about one of our automatic firefighters, Italy. It is Lucio Corsi with Volvi essere duro.
La vita è un gioco da ragazzi, me lo diceva mamma ed io cadevo giù.
There was some controversy at Sanremo this year. He was not actually the winner of Sanremo. It was another guy.
Cerco ancora in casa quando mi prude la schiena e metto ancora un piatto in più quando apparecchio a cena. So soltanto che voglio.
There were some controversies. Why he dropped out was apparently due to some comments he had made in the past. It
Oh,
was either that or touring dates. I've heard both. Either way, he dropped out, and runner-up Lucio Corsi took his place with this song, which is a song.
it is a song, yes.
It is a song. Um, Curtis, why don't you take the reins on this one, babes? Why
Oh,
don't you go first?
so generous, so kind of you. Uh
Mhm.
it's an interesting song and
It is
he's an interesting performer.
very artsy. I will say, it does what Portugal wants to do, but does it better.
True, true. Like this is memorable at least. Like I remember
Yes.
his white face.
Every time I try to think of Portugal songs, I think of this song, Stage Presence. He's got it.
I haven't noticed. I watched the music video. All I remember is him like popping out of like a poster with this white
yeah, I mean, like more of like he will be
in it
memorable
in a
on the
child's
stage.
room. So
He
that's
he will be memorable on the stage.
yes, it is very unique and memorable. But for me, it is kind of retro and dated. Like I love the throwback to especially David Bowie. When I first heard this and saw this, I was like,
Mm,
David Bowie, is that you? But
mhm.
so I like the hark back and like I like David Bowie. I'm not obsessed with David Bowie, but I love David Bowie for who he is and the genre of music he pioneered.
What he's done for the community, yeah.
Yes, and he has such a unique sound. So I'm really happy to see that influence. I don't know, like I haven't heard uh, Lucio mention any of his influences, but for me
He
personally,
has mentioned so his influences, if I am not mistaken, are David Bowie and
okay,
Lou Reed.
okay, there we go. So I am on the money.
Tell me what you really think.
Oh, I can't
Be
pick.
honest.
It just doesn't
Say
do
the
me.
word.
It
It's
doesn't
boring.
Yeah, it doesn't do anything for me. It's very one note. Again, it's also one of the songs where I haven't really dedicated the time to actually want to listen to the whole song. I've seen
Hmm.
snippets of this Sanremo. I've seen snippets of the music video. I know what the song, like how the kind of melody kind of goes with the chorus,
Hmm.
but I just haven't had enough interest to really watch the whole thing. So if I'm like that and I'm a Eurovision fan, what's the general viewer going to feel about?
So
They're going to be impactful enough for the Eurovision stage.
it is Italy, so they will survive. They will do well because they are Italy. Like,
I've seen it has
I
a lot of
think,
streams of classic Italy.
yes, which that always happens because the San Remo songs usually go quite viral within Italy. I have some beef with Italy right now. I'm not going to lie, I do. Not with San Remo more. So, I thought when looking back at last year's Angelina Mango,
È la cumbia della noia, total. Ah, è la cumbia della noia.
with Lanoya, which Italy sending a woman was unheard of. A solo female artist since Emma winning Sanremo, unheard of, not done.
Tuo respiro e penso a me che non freno, spingo forte, non ti devo. Voglio
And so I'm like, okay, we're getting there. We're getting there. And there was this artist named Georgia.
quante volte ti ho cercato per quegli occhi che fanno da luna.
Who did had this amazing song called "La Cura per Me," and I love this song. I'm like, okay, this is the song. She is the girl, and she also did a duet with Annalisa to "Skyfall."
I saw that one, yes.
We were standing at skyfall.
And I'm like, okay, she's got the vocal range. She has this, and she didn't even make the top five. The top five was all men again, and all men with like Ollie's song was fine. It was good. It
Hmm.
was it reminded me a lot of 2023 in that way of like not great, not amazing, kind of forgettable way. And then this song just was worse. We were doing so well. And
Uh,
then why? Why? I'm not Italian. And it's it does what Portugal's doing, but better, but like
Only by a smidge.
only by a smidge. And even if it's like putting a drop of salt into like a pan of unseasoned water to boil pasta. It's like that's not good enough, babes. I need more. I understand it's a very personal song about being a tough guy when you're maybe more effeminate and a little more artsy and out there and no one understands you. Get that.
Hmm.
Love that. There are a million other songs that say the same thing, babe.
Was scrolling my TikTok the other day and I saw these two younger people ranking the Big Six. and
Mm,
I was surprised to see them having putting Italy second and third. Like young people
hmm.
putting Italy second and third on their rankings. So
Where did they put, who did they have last?
I can't remember.
UK?
Like all I remember is Italy standing out with that being second and third, and I was like,
Mm.
last for me for the big six.
Yeah, it's
I
also
saw
last for
one
me for the
comment and
Big Six.
they're like, this is better than Switzerland. Um, so I'm curious,
It's
like that there are people out there that are ranking Italy.
There
Like,
are, and there are the Nans that come out here for I don't even know. He might scare off the Mans. He might be a little too artistic for them. I truly don't know the audience for this song. I really don't. And
that's not a surprise. It was
mm,
young people ranking this very, very high. So I was like, young people are vibing with this song. So I'm really interested to see how our viewers vibe
mm.
Italy, if anyone else is vibing and feeling Italy this year.
According to Albania's Beatrice, apparently she knew of him. He was some sort of like underground musician. So, which I see him being that kind of like underground hippie,
Yeah.
um, almost Williamsburg-esque kind of like, free music, man.
Mm-hmm.
I
Like
see that for him. I do.
he's had a journey.
He's had a journey,
Yes.
and I'm happy he's on the stage. I'm happy he's showing his art. So, before we get to where we think we'll rank, where where do we have this ranked? I'll start. I had Portugal at 34. This is 33.
I
Like
have
I said,
I had Portugal 36. I have this 35.
exactly. It's doing the same thing slightly better, but like now here's the weird thing. As far as where this will place in the contest, I truly don't know. It's Italy. So they have a fan base of people who will always show up for them. However, like I don't know if they'll get this because they showed up in 2023,
Questa è l'ultima canzone. Sarò lì a dirti che
but like I don't
He
know.
also competed in 2013, right? I liked him in 2013.
l'amore in grado di celarsi dietro amabili parole che ho pronunciato prima.
I liked him in 2013, but 2023 I could take or leave.
I don't remember it.
I don't remember
I
at
know
all.
who you're talking about. I remember in 2013, I liked 2013. For 2023, I was like, oh, what is this? But I'm just
I'll
looking
put
at
a
the betting
clip.
odds. Italy is 15th in the betting odds.
Usually they're much higher. Usually they're much higher. They're usually at least in 10 for as long as I've been paying attention. Ever since Måneskin to Angelina, they have been high. And the bang odds always, and always kind of fighting for that win no matter what.
It's
And
high.
this year they're not.
It's higher than Norway in the betting odds. And
Okay,
Poland.
they hate a twink.
Swing. Let's go.
Tamu. Kyle Alessandro has come out as a Tamu hater. So what do you expect? Tamu's messing with the betting odds.
And I have
Okay,
to say, this is ranked higher in the betting odds than my number one, which we'll find out.
we'll talk about that later.
Every time I think of Italy, I think of Tutta Italia, Tutta Italia.
To Italia, which is San Marino. With that, let's move on to Serbia.
Mila, ti se platila što volim te ja. Mila, života.
Serbia this year had an interesting national selection. There were drag queens, there was a protest. Yeah, it had anything and everything. Just what you need. And we are left with Prince.
Yeah, I was obsessed
Um,
with their national selection this year.
really?
Like they had like you said, they had everything. I was like, oh, it's anyone's game. I thought there are some very strong contenders. Like the drag queens, I was like, "Hmm." Yeah, an interesting act.
They almost won. They almost won, and I thought they were going to. I'm still waiting on the day my girl Zora comes and takes it, or my other girl Sarah Joe to come take it. Hopefully, she wears lingerie again. Um,
Sudbina i nije vračbina, bruji, bruji, čaršija, bruji, bruji, čaršija.
but we have Prince with the song Mila. Okay, I've made you start. I'll take the start. This song is dated. The song is old, been done a million times. And somehow I still like it. I know I'm not supposed to like this song. I don't know if it's him when he looks at me in the eyes. I know he's a little, but he's a big muscle man with long blonde hair holding a rose. I shouldn't like this song. It's unoriginal. It's dated. I don't care if it qualifies, but I like it. I like every time he looks at me, he's like, Mila, I like it. And I'm a terrible person for liking it. I could name so many negative things about this song, but in the end, I still like it. And I can't tell you why. I think it's the mix of drama.
Hmm.
I think I'm just a wimp for drama. Anything slightly dramatic, oh, I'm in. I'm in for it.
So, uh, I have to agree that it is captivating. I don't know
It's captivating. It's captivating.
what it
He's
is.
captivating.
And it kind of gives me the nostalgic vibes of, I think, were they Serbia and Montenegro back then, or just Serbia,
Serbia,
in
Montenegro. Wait, hold on. Which year?
2012.
It was separate.
The guy who did the ballad in 2012.
Sam te voleo, nije moja ljubav stvar, pa da ne znam šta ću s njom, želim ti sve.
So it's giving me those kind of vibes, which is classic Balkan ballad. It's the bread and butter of Eurovision. So I
Uh-huh.
think that's why we're vibing with it, is because it's a Eurovision necessity. Gives me a little bit of Molitva vibes, but missing the lesbian realness.
Kažem da te ne volim, molitva, kao žena molim usama je.
But
Clip.
he's bringing his own image and
I
manly.
think that's why. I think you're correct because I love Molitva. I listen to that song. I'm just like Molitva, can't stand it, Tony. And this is giving the same vibes. You hit the nail on the head. It's the bread and butter of kind of the contest now is more made up of like the tattoos and the cha-cha-chas, but the contest of the 2010s was made up of these
Yes.
Balkan ballads when these countries did well.
Mm.
And Serbia still does well. We will talk about Croatia later. Albania's kind of hitting their mark. Greece is hitting their mark. When these countries did well and they were all here, and now getting a Balkan in Eurovision is a task and a half.
And that's why it gives that dated vibe, because its heyday was those 2010s. So
mhm.
it, yeah, bringing a song directly from the 2010s into the 2025 contest potentially brings that kind of dated slash nostalgic vibe. It depends on
Yeah.
to see it and the quality of the song.
With that being said, do you think it will qualify?
No. For me personally, I think it could if
It's semi two. It's semi two, which is the rough one.
do we have another Balkan song? Is Greece in that one?
No, but Montenegro's in this one. No, and Greece is also in this one. Ooh.
Oh, okay. Nope.
Nope. Um, okay, so Greece is the definite yes
Mhm.
of qualifying for multiple reasons. Um,
It's between Montenegro and Serbia because they're both trying to send the ballots there.
they both have the same thing, but here's if we're playing statistics. He's a handsome man. He's handsome. He's got the muscles. He's got the blonde hair. I think he has blue eyes. Gorgeous smile. The nans might just vote for this. The nans and the moms might be like, ooh, ooh, that man, a little hot under touching the pearls, like, ooh,
That Serbian man.
that Serbian man. And Serbia does have a record of qualifying with last year's Teodora.
Mm.
Love that song. I still sing that song. Even the year before that, Luke Black.
Mm.
And even then, Constructa. Obviously, they know what they're doing when it comes to the package. So I don't think they're not just going to throw them into the deep end. Now, frankly, the last 2 years they have been like ninth and 10th in the qualifying. So that qualifying streak's been a little shaky, but still, a qualify is a qualify. But I could just see the moms and the grands and maybe the like teenage girls being like, ah, he looks at me like that. And also the gay men being like, ah, when he looks at me like that, I'm just like, I'm taken away. So yeah, with that being said, where do you have this song ranked?
Man, this video is a lot of lows for me. Um, it's
It's about to get. I know this is the low video.
yeah.
We decided to put them all in one video just to get out of the way with.
So it's 32 for me. So it's above Georgia.
For me, this one is 26.
That's generous. That is very generous.
Like I say, I'm a sucker for a man with a nice smile and good blue eyes. I think his eyes are blue. I don't know. Okay, with that, let's get to our last country of this video. This is the country of my homeland, of my people. If you've noticed the last name down in the corner, you might be like, huh, that's an interesting last name. Where could it come from? Well, it comes from here. Poland with Justina and Gaia.
They call me God. I'm the love, I'm the life of all. Imagine the gens.
I'm spinning.
So,
Hey!
so we have here a return to the contest with Miss Justina after a whopping 30 years.
30.
This woman is 30 years.
Czasem rozgniewa się, daje smutek, by tam, gdzie wieżowca czekała.
She competed in the 90s
Whoa.
and she still looks like that, which
She looks great.
she looks great. She hangs from the ceiling. So yes, she is. So she tried to go last year, but didn't make it. Lost to Luna. And since then, Poland has switched broadcasters to this broadcaster, and she won their national selection. Which I will say, amazing national selection. They really showed out. I listened to a bunch of those songs. Poland has really stepped it up, and it shows. This is a very, very artistic song. It's a little out there. It's a little out there. It is a bit shouty at times. Just a little shouty. But at the end of the day, I still like it. I still like it because it's ethnic, it's modern, it hits the mark every time. And I have not seen her deliver a flat performance of this song, truly. Curtis, what do you think of Miss Justina and Gaia?
So first, I want to give a shout out talking about the national selection to Cuba with his song.
Mhm. Oh, Cuba! Yes.
I met him in Poland in 2019. So yeah, I met him back in 2019. He's a very talented singer, so I was really hoping to see him do well.
He
However,
has been in the Polish music scene for a while because he was on like the Voice Kids of Poland.
so yes, he joined the group and then he's now branched out into solo.
Mm,
However, in this selection, he was up against one of the queens of Eurovision for Poland. I
hmm
like,
Because she's famous in Poland. She's like like from what I've heard, she is famous.
but she's also
I
famous
will
within the Eurovision community.
mhm. I will give a shout to my favorite song from the national selection, Swada and Nikos with their song Lusterka. I still love that song. I listen to it all the time. Yes, but continue with Miss Justina.
Yes, I remember watching like Poland's best result at Eurovision, and it would show her like performance in the 90s. She got really
Mm,
high, right? Like third.
yeah.
There are very high expectations going in for her,
Mm,
but she is meeting those expectations. And for me, I have been thoroughly, thoroughly impressed. She's a lot, but we love a woman who's a lot. We love a
we
performer
love a
who's
woman who's a
extra.
lot.
Yes. Um, the my favorite moment of her was when she was at the Amsterdam concert and she was greeting the fans and taking photos. Did you see this?
No, I did not.
And so yeah, so she's greeting fans, and they're like, "Can we take pictures?" And then she just goes, ah! While she's taking photos with all the fans, just holding the note, and I died. I died.
I love Gaia. Good luck this year.
And the other Eurovision contestants are, I feel like, in awe with her.
Mhm.
Brings this, she's the mother.
She is the oldest woman of the contest, and I think she is around the second oldest contestant, maybe third.
My name is Justina Steczkowska, and I am the oldest contestant this year at the Eurovision.
But yeah, so she is a legend. She's a staple in the community. And I will say one quick criticism. Last year, she had a song called Witcher Toro, which she tried to go to Eurovision with. These two songs are.
I thought last year's was better, I think.
I was about to say last year's was, in my mind, last year's was better, but the normal Eurovision watcher won't know anything about that. It is the same songwriter, so obviously they saw something in that song, which is a great song, by the way. So yeah, and they were like, change it a little bit and send her with it.
They're like, just try it again without the corruption and changing the votes. Oh,
Exactly. Just try again. Her songwriters Patrick Kumar and Dominic, stay with me, Bukowski Wojciechowicz are the same songwriters, but also something interesting. They are also the songwriters for Poland's back-to-back junior Eurovision wins with Vicky Gabor's Superhero.
Zabiorę cię ze sobą ponad szczyty gór. Znajdziemy nas na nowo gdzieś w dolinie mórz. Teraz mogę.
And Roxana's Anyone I Want to Be.
Świat dziś śmieni się milionem barw. Chowa w dłoniach cenny skarb. Nawet jeśli przyjdzie, więc
So yes, it is Junior Eurovision, but one, I still listen to Vicky Gabor's Superheroes all the time. It's a well-written song. Um, so obviously there's talent behind this number. And she apparently is doing something never seen before at Eurovision, which already they told her she can't do. She was going to swing from the ceilings, but they said no. So, with that, my love, what are your opinions of this song? I realize I cut you off.
No, that's about it. Is I'm very impressed, but it's not like a favorite for me. But like she makes an impact. I'm impressed by the vocals, and I am seeing this as a definite qualifier.
Same for me. I have this ranked as number 10. Yeah, especially because she's in the final with all the men, and it's only her and Beatrice. She should have no problem. Also, Polish diaspora.
She is number 19 for me, so not as high, but I appreciate her.
So, my lovely co-host, do we have any standouts of this episode? I know it was a little slim pickings this episode. We had to get through all the not so great songs sometime at
Yes,
some point.
for me personally, the one and only standout for today's video was our icon, our queen, Justina from Poland.
Same vibes for me. My standout was Miss Justina from Poland. Also, shout out to Red Sebastian. I see you going far, kid, in the contest. I really do. And yeah, with that, is there anything else we would like to say?
Stay tuned for our next video. There are some heavy hitters coming in
There
our
are.
video.
I promise we save the heavy hitters for the end, for the last couple of videos. And with that, I have been David,
I have been Curtis.
and we will see you next time. Bye, losers!
Bye, losers.
Getting loser for the joyride.